Okay, guys, this is just going to be very brief while we go through the rest of body paragraph 1. So far you should have a topic sentence written that says, yo, I'm fixing to tell you about hope or work or whatever your first body paragraph is about. Now let's talk about supporting ideas. So you've already got your supporting ideas picked out and you already have your in-text citation. Now you just got to explain them. Okay, and that's the key. Getting a lot of good explanation in there. So for supporting idea number 1, you're going to explain your idea in your own words. This is not a quote. This is in your own words in 2 to 3 sentences. Then you put your citation. Here's an example. Mine's from Knight. It's about family and it's about Yossi and Tibby. Okay, so this whole thing right here, these 3 sentences together are my supporting idea number 1. Take a look at what I've got. In Night, Wiesel tells of brothers he met at Buna named Yossi and Tibby, whose parents had been killed early on, so they live only for each other because they only have each other left. During selection, they strategize with Ailey how to avoid having their numbers taken. They jump up and down to invigorate themselves and sprint past Mengele to be sure he can't write their numbers. Living for each other gives Yossi and Tibby a reason to strive to stay alive. Okay, so in this example, you can tell I've got good stuff, all right? In the first part, I've got what source it's from and basic information. Here, I include a little detail, which is really important in supporting ideas. And then the last sentence in green kind of shows how my example relates to my idea of family being a resilience factor. Okay? And that's what yours need to do. Maybe it doesn't take you 3 sentences. Maybe it takes you 2 sentences. But it shouldn't take you 1 sentence. These supporting ideas should be multiple sentences. Now, you got 3 supporting ideas in your paragraph. This is only supporting idea number 1. You're going to have 2 more. All right? So I want you to stop the video and write supporting idea number 1, 2, and 3. And I want you to do your best to give it 2 to 3 sentences. And after you've written your 3 supporting ideas, then we're going to come back and talk about how to do the quote. All right, if you're back here, I'm assuming that you have body paragraph 1 with all 3 supporting ideas explained and cited, and you're ready to put in the quotation. So, in body paragraph 1, you will have only 1 quote. Only 1 quote. And that quote is going to go in the paragraph next to the supporting idea that it pertains to. For example, if supporting idea number 1 is is the idea that your quote explains or elaborates on, then your quote's going to go after supporting idea number 1. Likewise, if it's supporting idea number 2 that your quote tells about, you'll put it after supporting idea number 2. But these are the 4 things you got to do for a quote. You introduce it as so-and-so argues, comments, remarks. We try not to say as Wiesel says, we try to use a better verb than that. Put your quoted material in, include your citation, and it has to go like this. Look, close quotes, open parentheses, last name, page number, close parentheses, period. So the period goes boop all the way over here, and the quotation mark goes here. Then you need a sentence to explain how your quote adds to the example and relates to the topic of your paragraph. Let me show you how that works. Here's an example. All right, here is a supporting idea with a quote. It's about David Gwertzman. You remember the guy who hid in the pigsty. Okay, so here's my supporting idea. David Gwertzman and his family survived the Holocaust but endured 20 months in a hole under a pigsty on a farm in Poland. They struggled to maintain hope that they would be able to outlast the Nazis, especially Gewurzman's father, who sometimes argued that they should turn themselves in. That's my supporting idea. Now you see, that time it only took me 2 sentences to explain my supporting idea. Then I have it cited, Kilgannon 2-3. As Gewurzman comments, that's my introduction, here's my quote, "We thought there wasn't a Jew in Europe still alive, but for some reason I never once doubted we would survive. Maybe I was too young and naive, but I never lost hope." Then I got my citation here. Then I say, Gewurzman's hope enabled him to convince his father to stay put and persevere, and that kept them going, consequently saving their lives. All right? So here's my supporting idea. I got my introduction, I put my quoted material with my citation, and then I have a sentence that relates this quote and this idea to the idea of hope and how that helped them to persevere and make it through the hard time. Okay, so that's what you want to do with your quote. And that's the end of my video today. You also need a concluding sentence, but we'll talk more about that on Wednesday.